Hello, everybody. It is Mothical here, back again with another episode of the Mothical Podcast. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. I just literally figured that it would be a good way to kind of talk about stuff, especially in terms of like Fortnite and whatnot. Seeing as we're about to go into Chapter 6 and whatnot, I figured, why not bring back the podcast? It was such a spontaneous decision on my part. And hey, a new podcast episode, you can just fucking put in your earbuds, put on some headphones. Maybe you're doing some work or something. Who knows? Just listen to me talking. You agree, you disagree, who cares? It's a podcast and we're here to have a good time. I'm here with one of my best friends, Fierce. I don't really think that she needs much of an introduction. She's been on the channel before. She's been in like mostly gameplay vids and whatnot, on streams quite often. I don't really think she has anything to promote, unfortunately. So yeah, but she is here and we're gonna have a nice little discussion just about the last year in Fortnite. So without further ado, let's get this shit going. So Fortnite chapter 5, huh? Fucking interesting ass chapter. I am gonna be 100% honest with you when I say that. I feel like a lot of us have very mixed opinions on it. Like I think some of us enjoyed it more than others. I personally enjoyed it a lot more than a lot of people. I feel like I've seen a lot of people like not really enjoy the chapter as much. I don't know if you can kind of like agree. I feel like that's a pretty obvious thing to say, actually. Now I'm thinking about it, but it's just because there's a lot of issues with it, right? There were just a lot of issues with it, right?
Yeah, looking
Right?
at the good and
Yeah.
bad, they had a lot of issues, but
Yeah, like it was still fun. I feel like regardless. I mean, you could say the same thing about Chapter 4. I wasn't like a big fan of Chapter 4, and when I did like my whole like Fortnite in 2023 video, I openly said I wasn't a big fan of Chapter 4, but like I still had moments in there. Like even in Wilds, for as terrible as the season as that was, I still had a lot of fun in certain moments and whatnot with that season. I mean, I met Beta in that season, met a lot of cool people around that time. Like, I can't like 100% hate it. And that's kind of how I feel towards chapter 5. I didn't hate the chapter this time around. I actually quite enjoyed it, but like it still had quite a few issues. Some issues that just, in my opinion, didn't get fixed over the course of the chapter and kind of definitely hurt it a little bit. I think it's pretty fair to say that season 1, because I feel like that's an easy kind of starting point. It was mid. It was outrageously mid.
yep.
Yeah, I know that's your take on it, and I'm gonna say it here. I don't think it's as bad as some people made it out to be, but I'm also not gonna say that it's like some hidden gem or anything. I feel like that first month when we had like Winterfest and all that, it was pretty like, I don't know. There's always something magical about a new Fortnite chapter, I think is a good way of putting it. Like, you get on
There's
and
so much.
yeah, there's so much new stuff. And we have like, weapon mods, new map, new battle pass, all this cool stuff. New
Yeah, it was
movement.
also like it felt more than usual as well with like the movement and the mods. It wasn't just like new
Yeah.
weapon, new map.
Yeah, it was like playing, I feel like the best thing to compare it to would be like the transition from chapter 1 to chapter 2. That's kind of what it felt like for me, because
Yeah, it almost felt like a
like
sequel.
a
Almost.
sequel. Yeah, and I kind of fucked with it, honestly. I was fucking with it. It wasn't perfect, don't get me wrong. Those old movement animations were kind of bad. They were kind of stiff, but they improved them, and I think the way that they are now is actually pretty good. I'm a fan of them, honestly. I'm a fan of them. I think that it feels pretty good. But obviously, chapter 5, like, we can actually exclude Battle Royale this time because we had shit like Lego, Rocket Racing, Festival. Like, it was a crazy time. And it's really interesting to look back on how only one of those new modes still gets an obscene amount of content, that being Festival. Like, I think about like Rocket Racing and Lego, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I barely fucking played either of those. Like, I remember when Lego Fortnite came out, and people were like, oh, I could play Lego forever, but I'm just sitting here like, really? Like, really? You could play Lego Fortnite forever?
Yeah,
I
survival
don't
games
think
is
so.
such a weird niche.
I feel like if you want to play a survival game, you just play Minecraft. Like, I don't know if
There's so
that's,
many. There's Minecraft. There's Terraria. If you want like a little
well,
more
yeah,
complicated. If you want
Terraria
PvP, play like Rust or something.
is less survival in my opinion and more PvP, PvE, yeah, PvE. Because I mean, obviously, I've put more time in Terraria than like most of my friends. There's literally like no like survival elements in it at all. Like you don't need to eat food, you don't need to drink water. You just have like a health
Mm-hmm.
bar. It's more so just gearing up for each big boss fight because each one is like
Yep.
significantly harder than the other. So I feel like in that regards, this than like different, significantly different from Minecraft than like what one would expect. But like Minecraft is I feel like that's just like the definitive like survival game. So like having Lego Fortnite, it's like I already own Minecraft. Why would I play Lego? Like
Mm-hmm.
especially when Minecraft, you know, the modding scene is so huge. Like I feel like they
Yeah. Ironically, just download a Lego mod for Minecraft.
yeah. I feel like they definitely had something going for it, and I will say I do like seeing every Fortnite skin turn into a Lego minifigure. I think that's really cute, but I just kind of don't care. I mean, like when
I
they,
know it's so weird for me.
mm-hmm,
I love because I grew up on the Lego games as a kid. I love those games.
mm-hmm.
So when I heard Lego Fortnite, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be awesome." But the second I like realized it was survival, I was like,
Yeah,
"Really?"
yeah, and
You're
then
absolutely right on the Fortnite like minifigure aspect, though.
yeah, I think the thing that turned me off, like just permanently, was just the whole like Lego sets thing. Like I just
Yeah, I
that's
hate
not
the
how you do
virtual sets,
that. That's not
which
how
is
you do that.
ironic because the main thing that made me excited for this mode was getting IRL sets. But the
Mm-hmm.
virtual sets,
The IRL sets
so
are cool.
good.
Like the Battle Bus and like the Peely Bone, those are cool. But
I literally went to the Lego store like a couple of days ago. I tried to buy the battle bus.
yeah, I know. Yeah, you said that. Um, but yeah, Lego. I feel like Lego is just a missed opportunity. They had a decent update with like the Clombos and stuff, which was kind of neat. Like we messed around with that for a little bit, but like I'm not a fan. I don't think I'm ever gonna really interact with it anymore.
Lego
Um,
just makes me sad because I wish it kind of just played like the Lego games, do like a Lego Dimensions kind of thing
yeah, yeah. I
with all the a Lego Dimensions thing with all the Fortnite realities would have been super dope.
I think somebody
But
will do that with UEFN in the future.
well, I don't know. I don't know how they would have done it, but honestly, my favorite thing about Lego is just switching to and seeing like the minifigures and the dances.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, just like in the lobby or in the locker. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, moving away from Lego, since I feel like that's all that there really is to be said about it. Rocket racing, I feel like is probably Fortnite's biggest flop, like literally ever. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how popular of an opinion that is or how unpopular, but like I've seen a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, Chapter 5 was such a big flop. The map was bad. Chapter 4 was bad. Chapter 3, like I mean, obviously we fucking see that all the goddamn time. These people are stupid, but I'm like dead set in saying that like Rocket Racing just was like generally a failure. Like I think even Epic Games agrees, seeing as how they dropped support for that like not even halfway through the fucking year.
Yeah, I think the only thing keeping Rocket Racing really alive is the cosmetics, but I think that's
Mm-hmm.
mainly just because people want to use them in Battle Royale and have like a
Yeah,
Lambo or a
exactly.
Hellcat.
Exactly. Like I don't have much to say about Rocket Racing. Like it launched with like only a ranked mode, which was fucking dumb. And then when they
Mm-hmm.
by the time they added like casual racing, it was just too late at that point.
To be honest with you, I'm also part of the problem with Rocket Racing because the main reason I like to play it is to kill time and
Mm-hmm.
then to I mainly just grind for cosmetics to use in VR. So I'm part of the problem,
Yeah,
but
I understand that,
it's
but
just
I mean,
stale.
yeah, it's really stale. It's really boring. It just feels like a slog every time I play it. It's just not fun. I don't think I think out of all of the new modes that they introduced at the start of the year, like that just wasn't it. And then I like I don't know. I think I used to say like, oh, UEFN will save this mode. Like I genuinely thought like people would be making some creative looking like race tracks and whatnot. No, no, they wouldn't. They make straight lines so that way you can get quests done. Like I just
Hey! Shh. Try to keep that on the down low.
yeah. But I don't know. Not a big fan of Rocket Racing. I think that's not like an unpopular thing to say. If there are people out there that do enjoy it. Gabriel. But
I mean, I don't
I
hate the mode, but not something I like to
I
play willingly.
I will never play it. I genuinely think that that's Fortnite's biggest failure is Rocket Racing. And that's just where I sit with it. I mean, the car cosmetics are fucking cool. I actually really like using them in Battle Royale, like you said. But outside of that, I just kind of low key don't care. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, cars are fun cosmetics for Fortnite itself,
Mm-hmm.
and to get these IRL vehicles, but just using them in its intended mode is ironically just not what they're good for.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm gonna say this now though. Festival is fucking peak. Like I genuinely like. Oh my god. Out of all of them, and this it's so ironic. Out of every mode, Festival was the one I was the least interested in. Like before it launched, I was like, "Oh, it's just a mode for music artists. That's gonna be like Guitar Hero." And I was like, "Yeah, this is kind of cool." And then I fucking played it, and I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, this is actually good." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so this is happening now. Maybe I do like rhythm games. So fuck." Maybe I should play what is it? Osu, Beat Saber. Like
Yeah, I knew festivals gonna be special. I love
yeah,
rhythm
no.
games.
It's a really fun mode. And I think everybody else can kind of low key agree even if they don't really play it. Like Festival gets a lot of content even still. Like pretty
Well,
much
here's the
weekly.
thing with festival that makes it genius that I knew would have been smart. Us
Mhm.
constantly getting new music artists as skins, even if you don't like to play festival. Oh, the weekend got added. Bam! I bought the weekend.
Exactly. X fucking exactly. They and especially as of recent with like the recent like battle pass changes with like the music pass being XP and like the Lego pass will be XP going forward. I
Mm-hmm.
I do genuinely think that like they're figuring shit out. They are figuring shit out 100%. And festival just it's just a fun mode. You know, I think all in
Plus,
all
it's constantly just getting improvements.
it's constantly getting improvements. Yeah, especially with
We're gonna get cosmetic instruments as items like back in
mm-hmm,
pickaxes. We're
yeah,
getting
like
concerts.
we're getting concerts, we're getting a lot with festival. Like I genuinely feel like festival is comparable to like battle royale in terms of like enjoyment and content. I
Because they just flow together perfectly.
They
Because if you're not
flow
good at
together
rhythm games,
perfectly.
well, they changed the music pass. And again, I like Billie Eilish. Oh, I have
Mm-hmm.
Billie Eilish in Fortnite, and I can use her in both modes.
Yeah, exactly. I think festival is definitely like I still think battle royale is like my preferred mode. Obviously, like I will always prefer battle royale for Fortnite. I feel like that's just what Fortnite is. But
Mm-hmm.
festival is still a really fun mode. It's a really fun time, and I like playing it from time to time. Obviously, I don't play it all the fucking time, but from time to time, I think it's really good.
Complete opposite.
The only thing I'm gonna say for festival is Carol G season. Ooh ooh
Not good.
that was the those were the dark ages.
But hey,
Just yikes.
we're back now.
Yeah,
We
no, we
went
got
from the
Snoop.
Jover.
Let's
It was
go.
Jover, but now it's not Jover.
We're Barack, baby. Let's go. But yeah. Let's get back on track. We were talking about chapter 5. I just wanted to get into like the side modes because I want to get them out of the way. I feel like while there is some discussion to be had about them, it's just all in all more interesting to talk about Battle Royale because of how fucking often it changes. Like Festival in chapter 6 is going to be just Festival. Like it's not really going to change. Lego isn't really going to change. Rocket Racing isn't really going to change. You know, we get a new festival season and it's like, oh cool, we got a new festival season. We get a new battle royale season and it's like, what the fuck? Like it's just big changes even if you don't like the changes, you know? So yeah, that's yeah, let's get back to chapter 5, right? Season 1, I already said was kind of outrageously mid, but also like it did give us some pretty decent changes. Again, I think that the movement animations like at the start definitely felt like too stiff, but also like they got better. I think they're genuinely good at this point. I don't really think we need to go back to the old ones anymore.
Honestly, forgot they changed them. To be honest with you,
Yeah, like it got to a point where it's like it kind of just feels like the old ones, but they kind of move just a bit differently. I don't know. Um, I know that hurdling actually did come back with chapter 5, which a lot of people forget. Um,
finally.
that shit like it low key fucks me over sometimes, but like it's still a neat little change. I don't
I
really
mean, at least it's not the chapter 4 one that launches you halfway across the map.
yeah, no. Like I've had discussions about chapter 4 in the past where I'm like people forget how fucking buggy that launch was. Like they disabled like several of their big chapter defining features in that first season. And one of them didn't even come back until the chapter after, which is crazy. The chapter 5 map, I'm gonna glaze this personally because I think that it had the just some of, I don't know, I liked it. It wasn't my favorite map. That still belongs to chapter 3 so far. Chapter 6 could dethrone it, we don't know yet. But like chapter 5, like I actually really enjoyed the map, a lot of the POIs. I've said this before, I'm a big fan of like town city type POIs, and there were a lot of those in chapter 5 season 1, with the only real issue being a lot of them kind of looked the same. Like, look, tell me the difference between Ritzy Riviera and Snooty Steps.
I genuinely forgot Ritzy Riviera existed. So.
Exactly. I guarantee you the only reason you can remember Snooty Steps is because of Peter Griffin. That's it.
And that it stayed longer.
Like even in season 3 and 4, when it got like covered in sand, it was pretty much the same fucking POI, just like a little less. Like, it's crazy to think about. But yeah, Ritzy Riviera, I mean, that shit only lasted one season. I'm just gonna say it now. Hazy Hillside, low key, was like the best POI in season 1. I don't know if you can agree to that, but for me it was.
I don't remember that POI.
Yeah. It just like it reminded me of like Misty Meadows, and I mean, you know, we're in chapter 2 remix for like a couple more days. Like the vibe was good. I don't know how else to put it other than that. Like it had a fun vibe to it. Reckless was a great POI. I mean, it lasted most of the chapter, only really being removed in the last like 2 weeks for that place. But like Reckless Railways was a great POI. It was a great POI. And then I also really liked what was it? Classy Quartz? That's what it was
Classy
called?
Quartz was good.
Classy Quartz was good. Ironically, I didn't like it when they changed it to Doom's Courtyard, but then also ironically, like I evolved in new like season 4 POIs. That's probably where I dropped the most that season for Marvel POIs, which is kind of sad, but we'll get into that a little later. Yeah, Classy Quartz was a great POI. But I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you. Like, I mean, some of these POIs, I feel like they range from like pretty good to just straight up mid, but none of them are nearly as bad as Rebels Roost. I genuinely believe that Rebels Roost has got to be one of the worst Fortnite POIs in Fortnite.
It was a nothing burger.
It was a nothing burger. Like, it was just a house, bro. Like, you could have replaced that with butt fuck anything and it would have been better. Like, I think that it's telling that there was a mansion to the south of the map that was like almost the exact same size, but it had more to it than Rebels Roost, and it was a landmark.
Yep.
Like, that could have been Rebels Roost, not the one to the north, but whatever. Like that just felt like such a lazy POI, and they just fucking kept it for the entire chapter for some reason. But I think the highlights of season 1 for me were definitely I think it was just TMNT, honestly, now I'm thinking about it. And I guess like the Titan Hand mini event, but it really did feel
TMNT was a good one. I feel like you also got to throw in Peter Griffin because that was huge.
That was huge, but like it also didn't really affect gameplay too much. But also I did like the touch where like you eliminate him and he does like the knee meme where he goes like that was really good. But I don't know. I feel like looking back on season 1, like it's not the worst season, but it had a lot of issues. I mean, like we got bullet drop in that season, and I mean that was definitely a bold change on Epic's part. Don't bring it back. Don't bring it back in chapter 6. We also got the weapon mods, which at the start of chapter 5, I actually really liked weapon mods. I don't know how unpopular of an opinion that was, but I feel like they got worse as the chapter went on. Because they didn't change anything. Like season 2, they removed a site that I fucking liked, and then they added that fucking thermal. They added the shitty thermal and the speed grip that I was never going to use, and it was like, okay, well, maybe in season 3 they'll do more, and then they don't do anything. Like,
super weird.
It's super weird. I feel like they were just at their best in season 1. And especially because they were actually in vaults. Like I remember at Hazy Hillside, there was a weapon mod bench in the vault there. Which a lot of people don't remember. Like they were actually like easier to access. Yeah, they were still like only in vaults, which is kind of dumb, all things considered. But I mean, at least there were like plenty of vaults around the map, and they were easy to access. Like we went from having multiple mod benches around the map to like 2, excluding Loot Island. Like it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy.
And then I am gonna argue that I'm gonna argue the ARs in the season were really good. I really like the Striker AR. The Nemesis was really fun. The Enforcer I actually was more of a fan of in later seasons, surprisingly.
Yeah, the Enforcer I hated at first, but like around Wrecked, they just buffed it and it became like incredible.
It became like
why.
really good. It's weird. Maybe we were just more used to bullet drop. I don't know, but
Like, the Enforcer was terrible, and I loved the Striker, and then they just like they flipped.
yeah, like it's interesting to think about. SMGs, Hyper SMG was shit. Harbinger SMG, wait, that's season 2. Hyper SMG was shit, but the Striker Burst SMG or whatever the fuck it was called, ooh, they should have kept that through the entire chapter. They just had to remove it in season 4. Just had to. Like I genuinely think that that's one of those weapons that like it doesn't fucking matter if bullet drop is in the game. Like that thing's still good.
I've always loved the burst SMG.
And then the sniper, I'm like 50-50 on, because the Reaper
I never
sniper
really used it a lot, but that thing in like clips was a demon.
I used it quite a bit, right? So I feel like I have a better understanding of the Reaper sniper. And like I liked it, but I also didn't like it at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. Like if I found it on the ground and it just had iron sights, it was like, well, fuck me. Why would I pick this up? But like when I had just a normal sight on it, I just like I don't know. I just like I turned into a demon.
I actually kind of liked it without the iron. I kind of liked it with the iron sights at the start because it felt like a hunting rifle.
I can see that. No, I can see that. Yeah. I just like I turned into a demon with it. Like I want to say like halfway through season 1, I just kind of like unlocked my true potential and just went fucking crazy. I think there's one thing we can both agree on though. The shotgun meta this chapter was not good. The shotgun meta was not good. Okay. I tried so hard to be like the hammer pump's biggest defender this chapter, and like by the end of it, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. And then the frenzy auto, just
I don't even want to talk about that.
I don't even like. I'm going to because I feel like I have to.
It's like I don't want to. Shotguns.
That's how it fucking feels. Like it's more overpowered than the drum shotgun, and that's like one of the most annoying shotguns in the fucking game. That's how you know that you fucked up. And then the hammer pump
nerfed them to the ground.
Yeah. And then the hammer pump. Here's the thing about the hammer pump, right? It's a pretty balanced gun, all things considered. If you suck with it, you probably just suck with shotguns. I hate to say it. The issue was there was always another shotgun in the loot pool that was just overly busted. Right? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that was a big mistake. And it led to a lot of issues with the chapter overall. I think that the shotgun meta legitimately definitely took off points for like the entirety of this chapter. I don't think that there was... I think the combat shotgun was probably my favorite out of them all because it felt the most normal. It felt like anytime I was fighting someone with that thing, even when they had the mythic one during Wreck, I still felt like I had a fucking chance. If I was playing with like a pump or something. But like against a frenzy, you just might as well not even pick up the pump at that point. Like I don't know. But yeah. Season 1, like It's definitely probably the weakest season one. Like, I hate to admit it because I didn't like chapter 4 season 1 all too much, but
Yeah, but I
chapter
mean,
4
chapter three
season
season one
1,
is really hard to compete
yeah,
against.
no, it's really hard to. I mean, who knows? Maybe chapter 6 season 1 will blow chapter 3 out of the water. We'll just have to fucking see. Um but like I legitimately, like, I don't think that this was a very good season 1. I don't know. At least it wasn't buggy. I'll give it that. It wasn't glitchy, it wasn't really buggy. It felt very well developed. And I think that's a good thing. I'm giving it a solid
Mhm.
like 6 out of 10. Because like
I think it's 6. I think 6.5.
6.5, something like that. I think that's a very good take for chapter 5 season 1. Um I'm about to turn into a hater. I just want to warn you. I'm about to turn into a little bit of a hater. I'm going to try and keep myself composed. Chapter 5 season 2, right? Miss Immortals, right? The build up to this season was amazing. I'm just gonna that's my opinion, right? The Titan hand coming out of the ground, us shooting the chains off of Pandora's box. I thought that was fucking cool, right? And then we get into the season itself, and on the surface, it looks really cool. You know, we have
Okay, wait.
hmm,
What happened the first day?
oh, I
What
forgot.
do you mean get into the season?
I forgot. Oh no. Oh no. Oh heavens. Yeah, this is the season that made me like stop making content for a while. Yeah. Uh Thanks, Miss Immortals. All
For
right.
nothing.
All right. Let's ignore the fact that it took like 10 hours for the season to come out. Miss Immortals, right? On the surface, I think this season definitely has a good presentation because we have we have Mount Olympus, Brawler's Battleground, which by the way got better after the season was in. Hot
Hmm.
take, I know.
I think I can agree right there.
Then we had like the whole underworld biome. I'm gonna glaze this because I actually really like this biome. I love the vibe of it. I don't think there was a single bad part of the underworld biome. Just my opinion. Um, yeah, like it has a really good presentation. You know, a really solid battle pass too. Um, but then you get into the gameplay, and I think I think this is where I started like I was in denial for a bit because I'm looking at everything. I see the Gatekeeper shotgun. I'm like, oh my god, finally something that can compete with the Frenzy Auto. Pump still can't compete. Pump still can't compete. That's just like it's like having two tech shotguns in the loot pool, and it's literally just pick your poison at that point. And then they nerf the Frenzy. It's like, like
Yep. I don't know what they were thinking.
yeah, the Gatekeeper shotgun, fuck that thing. I don't like the Gatekeeper shotgun. I tried to like it, I really did, but it feels like one of the main issues with the Frenzy Auto was let's say you had like a green Frenzy Auto, someone fights you with a blue Frenzy Auto, it doesn't matter if you fucking shot first, you're losing. Same shit
Yep.
with the Gatekeeper. It's, it's like even in season 4, I die and it's like, man, fuck this game. Why am I dying so easily? You can just ask the question, okay, wait, what color gatekeeper? Like that's a big issue. I hate saying that, but that's a big issue. With everything. I feel like Fortnite and their shotgun metas, the shotguns are so fucking important. And if they're ass, then it just throws the whole game off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely. So
Off the balances.
this season, Myths Immortals, it had the worst shotgun meta in the entire fucking chapter. It did. It just did. Like, that's my opinion. It did. Because you throw a drum mag onto a gatekeeper and you're winning every fight. It doesn't matter if they have the Zeus Lightning Bolt or the Chains of Hades or whatever, you're winning every fight. You might as well carry a bunch of meds and a shitload of shockwaves because that's gonna do you better. Same shit with the Frenzy Auto. I am gonna say the ARs this season were good. Warforged Assault Rifle, I remember liking it. I don't know if I would like it now because I remember like going into season 3 and then I was using the combat and I was like, man, this feels so much better than Warforged. But like, what do I know? What do I know? But it seemed neat.
Warforged was okay. still don't think I liked it as much as like the Nemesis or the
Mm-hmm.
Striker Burst.
Yeah, no, me neither.
But we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm. Harbinger SMG was so fucking forgettable. I like again, you have the burst SMG in the game. Why would you ever pick that thing up? Like,
I used it actually quite a decent amount. It wasn't the
mm,
worst SMG. I feel like if you ran it with like a suppressor, it had like pretty decent recoil.
that's fair.
But it's very middle of the road.
Yeah, very middle of the road. And then we have the Huntress DMR, and I know you don't like this thing, right? You weren't.
I love DMRs, but I'm just not a big fan of that thing at all.
I was never a fan of DMR, so I'm actually gonna say that I have an opposite opinion. I actually enjoyed this thing a little bit. I didn't pick it up a ton, mind you,
I never picked it up.
but like when I did pick it up, it was like, yeah. But it also presented an interesting like dilemma here because you have this DMR that can hit pretty hard, but you have the Reaper sniper in the game, which fulfills a similar purpose. What's the
I
purpose
thought
of
they
having?
vaulted it.
No, they didn't vault it till season 3.
Mm.
Yeah, it was in the game still. But yeah, I genuinely think in terms of the guns though, that season 2 just legitimately had like the worst selection out of them all. Still had the striker, like the burst SMG, whatever the fuck it was called. Thunderburst, that's what it was. Thunderburst SMG. And I will glaze that thing until the day I die. That is like one of my favorite SMGs in the game's history. But not even that's enough to save this loophole. Now the god powers were cool. Like I don't think there's any denying that. We could have gotten more, but the ones we did get were cool. Let's agree to that, right? Zeus Lightning Bolt was really fun. Barely picked it up, but it was fun whenever I did. Chains of Hades, I love these things. I love them so much. Genuinely one of the most fun items. Wings of Icarus are neat, but I genuinely feel like you're just better off using shockwaves. But regardless, they were really cool. Like, you'd be a fool to not agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Shockwaves.
genuinely. And then we had like the little Midas event at the start of the season, and I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed playing Floor's Lava.
Super unique.
Super
Never do it
unique.
again.
They should do it again. They really should.
No, they never done it again. Is what I meant.
Yeah, like I think that was definitely one of the more fun parts of the season. And then a couple of weeks after that, I'm just gonna say it right here. It low key felt like the season ended because of the whole Avatar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like we had Myths Immortals for about 4 weeks, and then it just turned into an Avatar season. Like from that point forward, it did not feel like Myths Immortals anymore. And that's no shade to Avatar. I really liked the Avatar mythics, right? I like how they did the Avatar event. I liked the bending just in general. All of them were really fun. All the skins were well made. I bought them all, so I mean, yeah. But like then that ended and we had the shitty Star Wars update and like I just didn't want to play the game at that point. Like it was some of the most boring times I've ever had on that game on Fortnite. Like I don't know. I don't know. After the Avatar update, the season like just felt like a fucking blur. Like I don't even remember the mini event that happened, which was like the statue like electrocuting some sand or some shit. Like I just
Yeah, I think that was it.
yeah. It's fucking weird how this season had one of the coolest fucking themes, one of the best battle passes, trailer made it look like a lot of fun, had some really great presentation, and it still ended up being one of my least favorite seasons. Like I think this is the worst season 2 that we've ever had.
I have a weird idea.
Yeah?
So I feel like with Mega, how they kind of did a Japanese theme, but now we're about to get a full Japanese chapter. Do you think we can maybe get a Greek mythology chapter? Because I feel like they just did so little because they could probably expand upon it and do it again.
Maybe. I feel like there's a chance. We'll just have to wait and see. But I also kind of feel like this chapter 5 kind of had the same kind of like Greek vibe. I don't know how else to put it. European. It was very European. But yeah, season 2, I'm gonna give this a 4. Like I'm confident in saying that this is like a 4 out of 10. Like I don't think the season was fun at all. I didn't want to make any content on it, and I think that it's one of Epic's biggest fumbles. Like, what? Like, was the game like the worst it's ever been? No, no, fucking hell no. Primal was still worse. Wilds was still worse. Vibin was still worse. Like, there were still worse seasons, but I didn't enjoy this one at all. Like, I really didn't, and it's a shame because I still was enjoying Chapter 5. But like when I took like a little break from the game and then came back a little bit before season 3, I was like so fucking ready. Like I wanted to get out of that season, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then the glazing begins.
All right.
All right. I think
You
yeah.
can start.
Let's yeah. I'll start off here. I want to start off by saying wrecked. Right. I understand why one wouldn't like this season. It was batshit insane. Like I'm gonna argue that this was the most batshit insane season that they've ever fucking done. Like, you had the cars, you had fucking gasoline powering you up, you had nitro fists that can make you fly around. Like, it was fucking insane. Even after the
We
fucking
got Magneto powers.
yeah, Magneto like even after they nerfed all the shit, it was still fucking crazy.
We
Like
got pirate stuff.
Wrecked is some of the most fun I've had playing this game, like literally ever. There was something so fun about just hopping on the game with my friends and just being a fucking idiot the entire time. It felt like it was just made for motherfuckers who just want to be stupid and have fun. And I am stupid and I like having fun, right? And the season is a theme that I had been requesting for fucking ages. I'd always
Finally got an apocalypse theme.
I had always wanted an apocalypse themed season, and I really liked the past. I really, really liked the Wasteland. I think they handled it so well.
Favorite desert POI definitely, or like desert landmark. I don't
Yes.
know, desert area.
Desert biome. Yes,
Biome.
so good. I don't think it can be topped. Love the car gameplay. I will say it definitely made builds feel a little irrelevant for a while there, but you know, by the end of the season, I was still back in builds. But you know, like I just even during the summer, like during like their summer event in quotes when they went on break, it was still fun. And a lot of people forget we got reload during this time. And I'm just gonna say I'm not a fan of reload, right? I don't really think it's a fun mode. It's too sweaty for me, and I just personally am not a big fan of that. But like them dropping reload when like a summer event is supposed to be happening is fucking insane. You're getting like an entirely new game mode that's permanent, that's going to get consistent updates, and people are still playing it. Reload is definitely a W. Like, regardless of if you like it or not, you have to agree. Dropping that in a season like Wrecked, it was such a smart decision. Like, 100%. Regardless, though, I still played more of a normal Battle Royale. And I think, while, yeah, this season definitely, like, had a lot of issues. I mean, they should have just had been splitting ranked and pub loot pools from the very start. I'm gonna be for real with you. This was the season that made them fucking realize that. I mean, I guess thank God. But just the fact that they just wanted to make something that was fun for the summer, because I mean, honestly, playing video games during summer, it's such like a weird thing. I don't know how to put it. Sometimes it can be fun, but like it's just a weird time. Because like, you know, if you're working, you're probably busy at your job. When you're off school, you're probably busy going and doing other shit. You're not really thinking about a video game. And it makes it so like when you go back to that game and like you find it fun, it's just more enjoyable. I don't know how else to put it.
And also you just have more free time to enjoy the game.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the season. I think that this was easily my favorite season of Chapter 5. I I give it a 9 out of 10 personally, because I know everybody is gonna. I can already see people going into the comments and saying shit like, "Oh, but the nerfs. Oh, but they ruined the game. Oh, but competitive." And like, I'm not speaking to the competitive audience here. I understand why the season was bad for y'all, and I agree. For competitive players, the season was a fucking nightmare, regardless. Like
Correct. I think I'll give it an 8.5.
that's valid. That's valid.
Because I played a little bit of like with other people, and
Mhm.
while I like the cars, there's only enough times I can get like just ran over.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. And in that regard, I do think the nerfs were actually good. That might be a hot take, but like
They were definitely needed.
those for like the first 2 weeks, yeah, they were fun. They were super fun, but like we needed those. We needed those
I couldn't
nerfs.
do that for months.
No, I couldn't either. So I'm happy they happened. But those first 2 weeks, man, they were so fucking fun. So fucking fun. And then we also got Metallica. Like, come on. The Metallica event was awesome. It was so fun. Ride the Lightning was awesome, genuinely.
I
And
love
then
that
the
thing.
loophole was good too. The shotgun meta, we still had the gatekeeper, but we didn't have the frenzy, and then we had the combat, and the combat. I love this thing. Oh, the moddable combat was actually so good. Like, it's the one shotgun from Chapter 5 that I'm actually like willingly going to glaze here. Like, I think this was the best shotgun meta. It still wasn't good. It still wasn't good, but it was better.
Nope.
It was better for sure. And then like the combat AR with bullet drop was surprisingly good. That might be a hot take. I don't know. And
I like the modded one. It was nice.
yeah, the heavy impact sniper too. Oh my god. Oh my.
I loved that thing. Not a lot of people like that thing. I loved that thing.
I love that thing genuinely.
One of my favorite sniper rifles to play with.
I think the only thing I wasn't a big fan of was ironically the Magneto power. It felt a little like this is kind of hypocritical to say, but it felt a little too busted for me. Like it just it felt too easy to use, which is ironic to say because the fucking cars. But I don't know. Like I just wasn't a fan. I just wasn't really a fan. Magneto is cool though. I'm happy that we got him. For sure.
Super happy. I love getting X-Men characters.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
weird
well,
inclusion in the battle pass though, but
yeah, very weird, but they made it work.
they did make it work.
They made it work, and I think that's all that really matters. And then oh yeah, T60 power armor. That was a great inclusion. I still think
Love
we
getting
should have gotten
some-
Furiosa, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And then end of the season. I mean, we got the little Fall Guys thing for some fucking reason, and
That's got to be probably the weirdest inclusion this year.
yeah, the Fall Guys stuff. Feels like
Like,
they
yeah, we
knew.
have it.
Feels like they knew Fall Guys was just a dead game, and they were just like, let's just put it in Fortnite because what else are we gonna do with this? Weird inclusion. I don't really care for it. I don't really care for it at all. But yeah, season 3, great season. I will always fondly remember that time. Now let's talk about season 4, and again, I'm mixed on this one. Right? I feel like
Missed potential.
yeah, like it's the definition of missed potential, right? I do
100%.
think this season was definitely better than like Miss Immortals. Like I feel like you're stupid if you think that it's worse. But oh my god, they fumbled the bag here, right? I'm gonna say this off the bat. I think that in a Marvel season where your Marvel powers should be the focal point of your season, and the gunplay is better than the Marvel powers, I think that's an issue.
Yeah,
I think
completely
I think that
completely
undermines the whole concept of your season because Marvel powers are like I was expecting them to be like genuinely awesome because chapter 5, like the stuff we did get, like even though it was very minimal at sometimes, it was still good. Like the Greek powers were still really cool. So
the Avatar powers.
the Avatar powers were really good. The TMNT stuff was really good. I was expecting for the Marvel powers to be phenomenal, right? Even if we didn't get a lot of them, I'm fine with that as long as they're good, right? And I barely fucking use them. I barely used them. The War Machine
It's
stuff I didn't like.
so weird.
I didn't like any of the War Machine stuff. Shuri's claws were cool, but like I never used them for combat. And when I was using them for mobility, it was just because I didn't have like shockwaves or something.
Yeah, just if they're here, I'm gonna use them real quick.
Yeah, like let me just use this to get to this POI or something. Like it felt underwhelming. Captain America's shield is mid as hell and overhyped. Although I have seen some funny clips. Apparently you were able to you know, fucking make a car reflect off of that thing. I didn't know that. No, I saw a clip.
I guess it's canon at least.
I literally saw a clip of some dude who was rezzing his teammate. A car like jumps through one of those flaming hoops. He just turns around, fucking guards with the shield, and just bounces backwards.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, like that's insane. But I still feel like that item is just so not good.
It's just weird because the Avatar powers were so fun to use and were super unique, and then we just kind of got like lazy remakes.
Yeah, it's weird. And then the Iron Man stuff was super underwhelming too. I think the flight kit was cool, but I never found myself using it. Like ever.
Yeah. The gunplay was incredible though.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Striker Burst AR with bullet drop is surprisingly good. Like shockingly.
The
Sovereign Shoddy was pretty good.
The Monarch pistol.
I didn't like the micro SMGs. I don't know how hot of a take that is, but I barely used SMGs in that season. I think the SMG meta was not very good.
I love those.
But the Monarch pistol, I didn't like this thing before I went to FNCS. Which, hey, chat, I went to FNCS this last year. It was fun. I met a lot of cool people. And I was watching Peterbot and Poyo, I think is who they were, fucking destroying motherfuckers with that thing, regardless of bullet drop. And I was like, okay, when I get back home, I am hopping on, and I am using this fucking pistol, and it was just in my fucking, like, it was just in my loadout, like, terminally from then on. Like,
it's a good gun.
It's such a good weapon, and bullet drop, like there were several weapons in the season where like bullet drop just didn't fucking matter. Like I feel like the Striker burst rifle and the Monarch pistol are like genuinely some of the best weapons that they've ever made. Like genuinely. Striker AR, I know you said you weren't a big fan of it, but I actually was a fan of it in the season.
I wasn't a fan of that season, especially with the burst.
The burst was definitely better. I will agree to that, but like I still enjoyed using the Striker. I don't know. But again, the big issue here was just the shotgun. Like it was just the shotguns. Like even with the Sovereign in the game, I still felt like I was getting destroyed by like the Gatekeeper. Like I don't know.
Gatekeeper. Oh no.
Gatekeeper should have been removed in season 2. That's my opinion.
That should have been removed forever ago.
I'm glad that they removed it for a little 1 month remix. But yeah, season 4, you know, I don't know. The POIs were neat, I guess. I didn't really like Castle Doom or the Raft. Doomstat was neat, but like I barely went there. And then again, I said this earlier, but ironically, I dropped at Doom's Courtyard more than any of the other ones. And that area is the only one without a mythic.
I went Doomstat a decent amount, but I remember I hated the medallion and everything.
Yeah, that's another thing about Chapter 5. I'm not a fan of medallions. I'm not a fan of them at all.
I think the way Chapter 6 reinvents it are hopefully going to be better.
I hope so. I don't
know. Them being powers were neat, and then the powers were underwhelming, and then the shield was just ridiculously OP.
I just wasn't a big fan of them. I feel like in concept they're cool, but overall they weren't handled very well.
Yeah, not at all.
I think augments are better, which is a crazy take because I feel like augments got underwhelming by the end of chapter 4. But if I had to take medallions or augments, I'm taking augments.
Yeah, I'd rather have augments because they're more balanced and they're for everyone. Medallions is just like you deal an extra 2 damage with your AR bullets, and
Mm-hmm.
then everyone's out for your head compared to augments.
It's literally either you deal extra damage or you have siphon. Like that's what it kind of boiled down to.
Yeah, and then everyone's out for your head compared to augments, where it's just like, ooh, I can hold 2 bullets in this sniper rifle magazine.
Like
Like, of
for
course, I'm just gonna take the augments.
the augments, and the thing with augments too is like there was maybe like one annoying augment, Riftjector seat, and every other one was just a lot of fun. Like even in the seasons where like they kind of felt underwhelming, like they still weren't that bad.
The only thing I didn't like about augments is they had a lot of like weirdly specific ones that were
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary, like the bushes ones or the mud ones or the
Yeah,
grind
I
rail
feel like
ones.
in like seasons like 3 and 4, they were just kind of boring. There were some games where I just didn't fucking use them until the
Honestly,
end.
just make them more like streamlined and they'd be perfect.
I think if you pick an augment before a game and then like after surviving for a bit, it just automatically equips, then it will be better.
I think that could be good, or just make them more generalized, like only make them for weapons and stuff.
Yeah,
Don't
that would
like make
work.
it for like mud or specific things in POIs where you're not gonna always guarantee you're getting them.
Hmm. Or if you're gonna go goofy with it, do it for every fucking season. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. There's ways to make them good. But yeah, season 4. I think the best thing about season 4, low key, was Fort Nightmares. You,
That Four Nightmares, so
I'm
amazing,
going
dude.
to, unless you want to say what you've said a bajillion times about this Fort Nightmares.
Literally, just all it needed was a battle pass, and it could have just been a full season.
Exactly. It was a battle pass away from being a full season. That's the exact quote. And that is shocking because those 2 weeks for Fort Nightmares were more fun than the entire Marvel season because we had like the chainsaw, we had like the boom billies, map changes that were genuinely fun. The map was covered in
Bosses,
fog,
items.
bosses, like they went the extra mile with this Fort Nightmares. And I'm going to say that this is the best Fort Nightmares we've ever had. We got a lot of cosmetics too, which is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of like good themed ones too. My main issue with the Marvel season was the Marvel characters we got in the shop and everything kind of suck.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of
But like
Spider-Man villains.
We got Billy, we got Leatherface, we got Jack, we got Sally, we got like She Venom and Agony. I don't know why that's blanked, but we
Lexa,
got so many good ones.
Hexspringer, like
Mephisto.
Mephisto. We had a lot with that Fort Nightmares, and they cooked. I think that is some of the most fun I've had playing Chapter 5. Is those like 2 to 3 weeks for Fort Nightmares? Amazing. Like they cooked.
Honestly, if I had to like praise one thing for Chapter 5, they did great events with like the
Yeah, they
Midas
did.
thing,
They
the
did.
event
They
pass,
really
the
did.
weather pass.
It just got progressively better. And I have seen people say that like season 4 was their favorite season of the chapter, and like that's cool if it is. I don't it's definitely not mine, but I don't know. I think Fort Nightmares was phenomenal, and that has me really excited for Winterfest, especially with the leak that we just got lately with like the ice skates. Ooh, I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
can't
I'm
wait for like
excited.
Elsa or some shit or Buddy the Elf.
Yeah, Buddy the Elf, that'd be crazy. Frosty the
Santa Claus.
Snowman.
I will be dropping with the Santa Claus skin.
Very excited. But yeah, season 4. I'm gonna give it a 7 just because of Fort Nightmares. If Fort Nightmares was shit, it would have been a 5.
With Four Nightmares and with Gwenpool, I'm gonna be honest
Oh
with you, a
yeah,
little bit biased.
Gwenpool.
I'm
Yeah.
giving it an 8.
Okay, that's valid. Yeah, Gwenpool did yeah,
I didn't
Gwenpool's
hate it, but just compared to the last Marvel season,
mm-hmm.
not nowhere near as good. Still fun.
Yeah. Gwenpool sweep though. Let's be for real here. Gwenpool's like the best Marvel skin. All right. Now we get to discuss peak. Like I don't even need Chapter 2 remix, all right? There's a lot of hot discussion about Chapter 2 remix, right? We
Do you want to talk
knew
about the event first?
um I suppose so, but I want to start by saying like we knew we were going back to Chapter 2 and
We had the assumption, then we had the roadmap leak. We didn't bring up the roadmap leak. Holy shit.
yeah, no. The roadmap leak was insane. Like we basically just knew the entire year of Fortnite, and The only thing we didn't know was that the chapter 6 was going to be Japanese, or that,
We didn't know Japanese chapter 6.
or the actual theme of Fortnite Remix, which we'll get to.
We didn't know Japanese chapter 6. We thought it was Sky Islands. Remember that?
Yeah, and it still could be. We still don't know technically, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, end of Fortnitemares. Literally the last day of season 4. Fortnite Remix, the prelude happens, and they're hyping it up as like an actual event, but then they're also saying like, oh, it'll just be in normal like core game modes. Like, we're not going to make a new playlist or anything for this, which I feel like right off the bat, that should have told people this is not going to be like a full scale live event. I feel like, and it's crazy. I remember seeing the leaks when they were like, oh yeah, they're going to use like Party Royale type assets and stuff. I was like, okay, so it's just going to be a mini event, whatever. But it'll still be fun. And I was off for the day that it was going to happen. And I was low-key just kind of really excited. Oh, the backlash. All right. I feel like it was very unwarranted because people got their hopes up and they got their expectations up that this was going to be like some Travis Scott level event or whatever, right?
No, it was absolutely not.
It was not going to be that. However, what we did get was, like, on a technological level, fucking impressive. Like,
yep.
All right. First of all, when it, I remember I was streaming and then my game crashed and I was like, well, I should probably not stream this or record it, and I'm probably not gonna stream or record the event on Saturday either, just for safety reasons. But
don't want to risk anything.
I remember when they fucking were like, I remember when it leaked, I was just on Twitter, we were sitting in the lobby, I was like, what the fuck? Snoop Dogg, and you were like, oh yeah, Snoop Dogg, and then I was like, Ice Spice, and you were like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, that was like such a like what the hell type of moment, And then I also remember like during the countdown before it even started, they like play a little snippet of the trailer and they showed like Snoop Dogg and the agency and Ice Spice gliding above Slurpy Swamp and then Eminem, like it was insane. And then I think that the prelude was still enjoyable because we got to see a live fucking performance, right?
Yeah, they literally took over NYC.
They took over Times Square. They took over Times Square, and it was happening at the same time as an in-game event. Like, perfectly synced. Perfectly synced. You know how hard that must be to get right.
And besides, like, with all the screens and the fact that they got them to do it, and people in NYC just got a free concert promoting a Fortnite thing, like,
that it was cool. And then we're standing like in the lobby and like we're having fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're having fun. I'm watching Ice Spice and Snoop Dogg perform for a Chapter 2 remix season. Like, I didn't expect that. And then the part that I always like think about is when he like grabs like the record and he's like Chapter 2 remix and like fucking flips it down onto the turntable, and then in game it does the same shit, and then like then it
shoots the shit into the sky.
Yeah, and then it like showed like the remixed agency and the remixed shark and shit. Like, that's just that got me hyped. That got me really hyped.
Yeah, the city itself as well, like projecting around like the screen.
They literally modeled NYC on the Chapter 5 map, and I think that's fucking dope as hell. Very impressive, like, genuinely. Was it like, again, if you're holding this like next to every live event in history, obviously it's not gonna fucking like be the best. I still think it was better than Fracture. I mean, but like,
okay, Fracture I get is a punching bag, but like, honestly, looking at other like events made to just simply promote things, I'd rather do that than something like Star Wars.
Yeah, me too.
Or the Quibi event. If you remember that shit.
Oh god. No, let's not go there. But yeah, Chapter, like, I really liked the prelude. I really, really liked the prelude. I thought it was fun. And then at the end, they showed the Chapter 2 remix trailer, and that was also fun. We got to watch the fucking trailer together, and I'm telling you, the fucking, like, just the feeling I got seeing Juice World at the end of that trailer, man, like
I screamed
you
so fucking
screamed.
loud.
You were probably more excited than like anybody there. But like I saw that, I was like, no fucking way they did that. No fucking way. Right? I used to listen like I've been listening to Juice a lot more as of late, obviously. But like back in the day I did listen to Juice. I did listen to Juice.
I listened to Goodbye and Good Riddance like religiously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a really good album. And I don't know. And then like Chapter 2 Remix itself dropped, and I'm about to provide my hot take, and I know you already agree with this, but I genuinely believe that Chapter 2 Remix is better than Fortnite OG.
Yeah,
Like
because
I
they
don't
innovated and did stuff new, especially with a certain reveal for Chapter 6.
mm-hmm. And like this started the whole like lore argument, right? And I understand, right? If you like having a storyline, I understand. And it's not the worst thing to have, and you're still getting that, right? Right? We
We
don't
didn't even talk about the new storyline direction.
yeah,
God
no.
damn.
We yeah, no. I did like the storyline direction for chapter 5. I like how it's kind of taking a more individualistic approach as opposed to it being trying to be some overarching narrative or whatever. It's just like little
Yeah, definitely.
self-contained stories, and I think that works better for Fortnite. I genuinely do. But like with this, everybody was just they were like, oh, they ruined the lore. Oh, they ruined my favorite POIs. And I'm just like, who cares?
Yeah. Besides, we just got to see them in Myths and Mortals.
Yeah,
like,
we got to see the agents in Myths and Mortals literally like move on. Like they moved on with their lives. Their stories are finished. So you're upset that they don't come back for a remix season when they literally moved on in season 2.
What do you want them to do?
What do you want them to do? Midas
Do you
is
want them to
practically
pull
fucking he's practically a fucking zombie. Like what do you want from what do you want? You want this man's rotting corpse to just be in every season? Like, what the fuck?
Do you want them to kill his dog in John Wick or something?
Mm-hmm. And then all of the fucking Donald Mustard things. I feel so bad for Donald Mustard, man. These people have such a parasocial relationship with this man, and it is so sad. Leave him alone. Let him do his own thing, right? Like
Bro is probably making like a movie and he's getting bothered with this shit.
He's probably making like some phenomenal film franchise, like or something right now, and like it'll be genuinely cool because that man has a creative brain, and I feel like he was kind of restricted by Fortnite. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think so.
He just left because he wanted to do something else, and a lot of people don't understand that. So
Charlie Wen's a good storyteller as well.
Charlie Wen's a great storyteller. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that.
That motherfucker made Kratos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Kratos skin that you want to come back to the item shop. Yeah, Charlie Wen made that guy.
Well, he made the original, but whatever.
I know. I'm. You get the fucking point. Like, yeah. Chapter 2 remix though, genuinely so much fun, right? Chapter 2 map. I remember really not liking the map initially, but like getting to experience it again as like an adult who has more like informed opinions and whatnot, it's so much fun. Like this map layout is so good. The loot pool is so good. The weapons are really good. POIs are just phenomenal. Like even like the non-mythic ones are good. Misty Meadows, my beloved. Like, I love it. I genuinely think this is a great map. And
I love Misty.
Mm-hmm. And with the whole remix thing, everything feels fresh. So like, you know, we still have like the Midas drum gun in quotes, but now it's the Snoop Dogg drum gun. Has the exact same stats. Just
but it's
Snoop's,
I don't know.
Right?
It's cool. It's better.
Or you know the fuck ass Eminem minigun. You know, fuck that thing. That's actually probably my least favorite thing about the fucking season. Like legitimately.
Or the Ice Spice rifle.
Yeah, the ice spice rifle is really cool actually because you shoot someone and you get like the spice effect, and then you use the grappler and you get like the ice on your feet, ice spice. Pretty cool.
Plus, like just the effects alone, like the
Mm-hmm.
little S's on the minigun, the little
Mm-hmm.
S's, the fact that it plays music when you pick it up, just simple stuff.
Like they did little things that, in my opinion, just made the experience all in all better. Like, I understand if somebody would enjoy Fortnite OG more because that's like a once in a lifetime type thing. You bring everybody back for OG Fortnite for just 1 month. Like, you captured lightning in a bottle right then and there. Everybody's gonna log on because they all have memories from 2018 of them playing Fortnite with the boys. Like, you're gonna get people on.
And not
It's
everyone misses chapter
mm-hmm.
two, but if you remix it,
If you remix it with stuff like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, like popular artists and stuff, or just popular things in general, like Chapter 3, if they do a Chapter 3 remix, they can do something similar. It doesn't have to be music artists, but something similar. I mean, like, we said comic book properties would be cool, but that's just an idea. Like,
mm-hmm.
I think the remix thing is the best way to do these seasons. I genuinely believe that. I don't think that they should just be one-to-one recreations, because if Chapter 2 itself just came back and we just had Midas and the Agency and the first three
That's it.
seasons, like,
That's it. They won't do the other ones.
yeah, like, it would have just been fucking boring. But then we got this rapper theme, and I think that it just genuinely enhanced the gameplay beyond what it already was. And fuck, I had so much fun with this one. Like, I'm still not bored of it. I still like getting on and
This
playing the
season
game.
flew past though. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
OG felt like it went on a little long, but this one actually felt like a month, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of sucks because I want to play on it a little longer. But I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope we get to see the Chapter 2 map return again in the future, because I actually do really like this map. If we don't, I mean, hey, this was a really fun month of my life, and I'm happy that I got to experience it. It's unfortunate that some people just aren't able to have fun, I guess. But I guess that's just more power to me for just being able to enjoy something, get on with friends and just play the game. If we're getting our asses kicked, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's still fun regardless.
Yeah, OG, I would just log off. I was not having a fun
Mm-hmm.
time, but this one, I'm just having fun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then again, I want to talk about Juice World because, we're about to get the event in a couple of days here with all the rappers, not just Juice World. A lot of people do think it's just a Juice World concert. It's way more than that. Um Genuinely, the tribute they're doing for him is phenomenal. Like, they give out the free skin.
I love the giant
He
juice
is
sword in
the
the
giant
sky.
Juice World in the sky is fucking gorgeous. Like, I I think they handled that like perfectly. And I'm not going to talk about any drama here or anything. This is a drama-free podcast. We're just here to talk about stuff, have a good time. Um, I don't know, man. I love what they did for Juice World, and I think that people should be more respectful. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm going to say about it. Um, phenomenal way of handling it. And I'm happy they did it. I did, like, deep down not really want it because, he passed away and people are gonna make jokes about it, but I'm happy
They
that we got
handled
him.
it well.
I'm happy
I'm
that
happy
they
we
got
have
him.
them.
Yeah, they handled it very well. And we're about to get this event, and we don't know what it's gonna be like. It'll probably be really fun regardless. So I'm not really gonna talk much about the event, but we still have about a
I
month
mean,
left
we
in the
kind of don't
year.
have it yet, so
Yeah, we still have a month left in the year, but honestly, I feel like because Chapter 5 is it's kind of already over. I mean, you could technically include remix in Chapter 5, but I don't really like doing that.
the
Um,
map itself is over.
yeah. This year I feel like
What
is
was it
ending.
called?
What?
What was it? Was it Hermes? No,
Hermes?
Helios.
Helios, yeah. Helios. I feel like it was an interesting year. I still had fun playing the game, right? I have my issues, I have my criticisms, but like overall I still had a lot of fun playing the game, and I feel like that's what matters the most. And that's why I enjoyed Chapter 5 a lot more than Chapter 4, because I just didn't really enjoy playing any season other than like Mega. Like, I don't know. Um so yeah, Chapter 5 for me was a fun time, and I am happy that I got to play on it. And I think that what they did for it was definitely brilliant. I mean, even Chapter 4 was brilliant in its own ways. Like, you could say that about every chapter. Like, genuinely. I really, really just like Fortnite. I don't know how else to put it. Even at its lowest points, I still really enjoy the game. Yeah. And chapter 6 looks amazing. I mean, we're getting a Japanese themed chapter. We're gonna get a lot of cool content. And I'm very excited to see what it is. You know, we're gonna be playing it on Sunday, and I think that's extremely awesome. And I'm probably not gonna upload any videos between now and then because I'm just gonna chill. And that's why I'm doing this podcast here with one of my best friends, Fierce. Thank you for joining me on here. So yeah, I think that I feel like we can all kind of agree, regardless of if you liked something or you disliked something or whatnot. I feel like everybody had fun at some point this year. It's not
anything you would have changed with Chapter 5?
Hit scan. It would have been hit scan. I think that if Chapter 5 had a hit scan, then it would have been glazed. I'm saying it now, and do not bring it back in Chapter 6.
Understandable.
I think that's the big thing.
Other than hit scan for me, I would have kind of just done more with certain themes. I think more Marvel powers, more Greek powers, just simple
stuff. For sure. I don't really think there's much you could do for season 1. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I do kind of agree.
Season 1 was just kind of an introduction. That one kind of gets a slide off.
I'll give it a slide. Bit. It was a transitional period for Fortnite because they were trying to figure out the whole metaverse thing, and I feel like we're at a point now where they've kind of understand what they're doing now. I mean, like the side modes are just side modes, right? Festival has its own update schedule. Lego has its own update schedule. Once a fucking
we're getting
year.
More side modes also related to VR. We're going to get
we're getting Chapter 1 back permanently, by the way, which is a discussion for another day. But we're getting that back, and then we're gonna get some. A lot of people aren't mentioning it, but there's gonna be like a mini VR type mode where it's like 50 players, and then there's also like the 5v5 thing, which is still combat based, and I'm very curious about it. Like very curious about like what this could all be. And as me
they're branching out, which is cool.
That's me very excited for Chapter 6. I don't think that the event that we're about to get with like the rappers is going to be a Big Bang type event. I think that it's just going to be like a concert type event, and we're probably going to just end up on Chapter 6 after it. That's how I feel, anyways.
I can maybe do a little more. I mean, Ariana Grande had a little bit more with like.
I just don't feel like they're going to be advertising everything. I don't feel like that's how it's going to work. I feel like they're just going to either go on Twitter and be like, "Yo, this mode's dropping," or something along those lines. Maybe just drop a trailer for it. But
they'll probably just drop the trailer afterwards.
Yeah, I don't think that they want to do another Big Bang because the Big Bang at the end of the day, I can excuse that because that's like the first time they ever did anything like that, but they just randomly dropped Reload. Like they just randomly announced Reload, and like I feel like they can just do that now. Like if they have like a new mode that's gonna kind of be permanent, they can just be like, "Yo, here's this. Let's get fucking Kevin Hart for advertising or something."
Yeah, the fact they got like a bunch of they got like Kai Cenat and shit.
Yeah, like
it's did that.
It's crazy, and I think it's cool as fuck. But yeah, like they can just drop those modes. I don't think that they need to do a live event to announce them anymore. Like, I don't know.
And no, just say the live event for like season reveals and huge shit like Juice WRLD and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, like just make them fun. That's how I see things. And
mini events are peak, by the way.
Yeah, I love the mini events. I think they're great. That's actually one thing that I don't have an issue with this last chapter. I think the mini events are phenomenal.
Fighting Dr. Doom with all my friends and having to go to work, like that shit was awesome.
Dope. Actually, like one of the best memories I'll ever have on this game. Genuinely. But yeah. Chapter 5, I had fun. But I'm ready to go to Chapter 6. I'm more than ready to go to Chapter 6, especially with the theming, how everything looks. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've gotten my opinions on Chapter 5 out there. They'll probably be uploaded.
I wanted a Japanese chapter / season for so long. And,
exactly. Yeah. Very exciting. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the whole podcast here. So just, yeah. Thank you to Fierce for just joining me here. I know we've talked about this like fucking 50 bajillion times in the past, fucking being up at like 2 a.m, being all like, this would make a great podcast. So we finally fucking did it. Go me. But yeah, that knocks another person off the list for being in my podcast.
I'll probably be back.
Fierce will probably be back. I mean, Fierce might even be back in like little videos here and there, little commentary vids. Who knows? But yeah, if you watched the entire podcast, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. I am trying to hit 1,000. I really want to hit 1,000 subs because that'll allow me to get a supporter creator code, and that will allow me to just be more financially stable and whatnot. I really want to get back into this whole YouTube thing. I've been slowly but surely getting there. So again, thank you to those who've been watching my videos and just for the endless support. I really appreciate it. Also, special thanks to like friends and stuff. Especially Fierce being my biggest fucking YouTube glazer. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the podcast. I don't know when there will be another episode because I just kind of randomly decide to do these on a fucking whim. But yeah, thanks to those who tuned in, and I will see you in future videos, probably in chapter 6. So yeah, go watch my gameplay video that I posted for chapter 2. It's pretty funny. That's all for now. See y'all later.